Hey guys, welcome back. Besiege early access coverage. This is episode 13. I'm Enigmius, and today, not a long episode, but one that carries a tip that might be very useful to some of you. We've done this in the past, try to make some sort of mechanism that will allow you to aim a machine in a particular direction, because that's kind of important. A lot of the flinging, lobbing, throwing, shooting mechanisms that are already in the game don't really come with an easy way to do the aiming. And the more hands-on the throwing mechanism, the more difficult it is, or it can be, to aim. The last major build that we did, we built a whole swivel base that had a base with wheels, and then another thing that sat on top of it with a turning block, and the turning block would turn, and then the top part would ride along the wheels. Big and complicated, and heavy, and very, very cumbersome. And if we had have actually wanted to put that machine on wheels so that it could roll around, that would have been a bit of a problem. So here we're solving that problem. We're taking it and basically reversing the whole concept, flipping it upside down, and what you're seeing is the full extent of the complexity of this kind of solution. Essentially what we're doing is we've got four wheels on a rectangular frame. You can see those. The front ones are powered wheels, the rear ones are unpowered. That's very important that they be unpowered so that they can, spin freely. And then in the middle we put another powered wheel on a piston, so that when we extend the piston, it pushes that powered wheel down, lifts the front of the machine up, and then we can use key bindings to move the wheel left and right, and it swivels the front of the machine left and right. Now you can use that as an aiming mechanism. You can adjust the aim, you can point the machine in a certain direction and then lower it down onto its normal wheels. You could also use it to steer indirectly by aiming the machine in a particular direction, setting it down on its wheels, and then moving forward. And then if you want to steer again, you can lift it up, aim it in the new direction. It's a little bit roundabout in terms of steering, but I find it's more stable because most of the steering solutions that you'll find, it's the actual steering mechanism on the wheels that is usually the first thing to break, because you oversteer or something, and instead of rolling on the wheels or pulling something on wheels, you end up dragging the wheels, and that's not good. Friction is bad for machines. It's just one of those universal things that we accept whether we fully grasp the physics or not. So here we're just bracing this up. Again, we want as much rigidity in this as possible. The piston does have a little bit of flex to it, and we don't want that flex working its way into the system. We want everything to be, fairly solid. When we push the button to make it go down, we only want it going down. We don't want it going down and then wobbling front and back or side to side. And then once we get everything set down on the ground, basically all we have left to do is set the key bindings, and off we go. Now this is a very narrow wheelbase, you can see. So the back wheels, they kind of, one side will tend to lift up when we go in a particular direction, and then we go back the other direction, the other side lifts up. If we had a wider wheelbase, that wouldn't be an issue. There are other ways that we could set up this kind of wheel on a piston system. Specifically, if it was wider, the machine itself had a wider wheelbase, we could have one piston and one wheel for each direction. So we would have one keybind that would activate a piston and a wheel at the same time, another keybind for the other piston and wheel, so that you press one to go left and the other to go right, and you don't have to worry about extending the piston and then steering with the second button. It's a little bit more straightforward that way. So we're chasing sheep with our new steering mechanism / aiming mechanism. You're going to see more of this in future builds whenever we want to aim something. That's how it's going to happen, is with this whole idea. You can see we're dragging the steering wheel a little bit. You can see a little trail of dust behind it as we move forward. That's not a problem. We can correct that with more pistons, more rails, more sliders, so that it's rigid but it's not in contact with the ground as we're moving around. But for now, proof of concept, simple, elegant way to aim your machine and or steer it, not necessarily guaranteeing your ability to kill sheep. So leave your comments and feedback. If you want to be notified when I add more Besiege videos, you can subscribe to my channel or follow me on social media. Links for social media always in the information section below the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.